The Great Endeavour Rally is one of Australia's longest running and most challenging motoring events. Since 1988, it's taken cars and their crews virtually all over Australia. Across roads and tracks, most people wouldn't take a four-wheel drive, let alone a two-wheel drive vehicle. From Cape York on the very tip of the continent, south to Tasmania, through the deserts of the Red Centre and across to the west, the Great Endeavour Rally has just about been everywhere. During the last 26 years, it's traversed over 160,000 kilometres and, most importantly, raised over $6 million for the Endeavour Foundation. The Rally and Endeavour Foundation have their origins in Queensland. In recent years, the foundation has spread its service supporting people with a disability into New South Wales. And with that, New South Wales gets to stage their very own Great Endeavour Rally.
We're here at the start of the inaugural UAA New South Wales Great Endeavour Rally, where we've got about 40 cars on the start line ready to raise dust, dollars and disability awareness. 26 years old in Queensland, but here we are, New South Wales, day one, year one.
The cars all assemble at Endeavour Services Mount Druitt in Western Sydney. They all go through scrutineering and final safety checks before the much anticipated start.
It's a very exciting course. What we try to do on any Great Endeavour is to have a variety and something different every single day. Yeah, a lot of sand country this year because we're right in that back corner out near Cameron Corner, so a lot of sand hills, sand dunes. We use a lot of private property. With that comes some really rough and dusty tracks and gates and bull dust holes and sandy creek crossings, but some magnificent and wonderful sights as well.
Endeavour Foundation also have their own vehicle for a very special few.
I made it.
We've got 6 supported employees that work at our industries here in Western Sydney coming along on the entire journey, and they're all dressed up in their fancy dress this morning and looking for a great time ahead. For these guys it will be a trip of a lifetime and they're very excited.
Our first time, and we just like to experience different things and try different things.
For the experience and to meet interesting people.
I can't wait to see the kangaroo.
You know my favourite car is?
What?
The Love Boat.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good.
Why do you like the Love Boat?
Because I know the show, I used to watch it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
40 years ago.
Over the next 7 days, we're going to make sure that as many people in New South Wales know what the Endeavour Foundation is and does, and why they are now here in New South Wales and expanding it.
With all the formalities done, it's time to get going. The cars are flagged off at 2-minute intervals in order of the highest fundraisers. The rally heads west through the traffic towards the Great Dividing Range and the path of one of the devastating New South Wales bushfires.
At the moment we've got a nice path through there. We can just get through without being an inconvenience to anybody, and obviously safety is the first primary concern. The planned course was going to be in some pretty steep and hilly country and creek crossings and that sort of stuff, but we've had to deviate away from that.
All the cars are able to get over the range and out of harm's way. Getting to the overnight stop at Bathurst only takes a few short hours, and it seems like everyone's made it through day one. The formal welcoming dinner's held in an old pavilion at the showgrounds, where all the crews, old and new, catch up and are able to get to know their travelling companions. The creed is read out loud, officially binding one and all to an agreement of fun and adventure for the next 7 days.
2013 UAA New South Wales Great Endeavour has begun!
It's day 2 of the Great Endeavour Rally, and it's going to be a long one. The longest day of all, 608 kilometres. The course has the cars heading in a northwesterly direction across the central west and eventually into the Western Plains. There's a mixture of out-of-the-way country roads, lanes and numerous tracks through private properties with gates and grids. By the afternoon, the rally's well into cattle country. The further west they go, the hotter it gets, and of course, those outback flies. The country opens up a little and the cars make good time. After a long day, nothing beats good old country hospitality. And while the Coolabah locals cook up a feast, the entrants show their improvement in putting up tents. Day 3, and it's another big one, over 550 kilometres. After lunch, the temperature climbs up into the 40s, and that's in the shade. With all that heat and dust, the tiny outpost of Ford's Bridge is a welcome sight. For most of this month, the publican's been the sole occupant of the town. Now that is isolation. There's still 160 kilometres to get to the overnight stop, including this 120-kilometre stretch of harsh and very dry country, right out the Macca berg. The rally crosses over the border for the only overnight stay in Queensland. While the landscape's changed, the heat is still here, and it's taking its toll on more navigators, causing a bit of doubt and confusion. Travelling in these high temperatures was also very concerning for the vehicles. However, everyone arrives in Hungerford. The Hungerford Royal Mail Hotel was originally built in 1873 as a staging post for Cobb & Co. Tonight there's no horses, just the very tired cruising cars of the Great Endeavour Rally. Day 4, and you guessed it, another day over 40 degrees. Most of the day we'll have the cars driving through far western Queensland before dropping back into New South Wales later in the afternoon. This remote country is tough and hostile at the best of times, so caution needs to be taken.
Exhaust, it's just dropped down, and given we're so low to the ground anyway, I don't think we can live with that.
How are you going to fix it?
A little bit of wire fixes everything. High-tech fix. That and duct tape and cable ties.
After lunch, the rally entrants have to endure 365 kilometres of this road in the heat and dust. Just when they think they had their fair share of mirages for one day, the Nakundra pub turns out to be real and a welcome relief, even for just a little while. The New South Wales border at last, and everyone's spirit seems to lift as the temperature drops. The change of scenery and the short run into Tibooburra is a welcome relief. Day 5, and it's a fresh and clear morning. The rally heads northwest and back into Queensland for the last time. The country changes again, this time sandhills and spinifex as far as the eye can see. Finally, the Great Endeavour Rally reaches its most westerly point, Cameron Corner, where the borders of New South Wales, Queensland and South Australia meet. This geographical landmark's a great spot for everyone to look around, have lunch and take it all in. Getting all the cars together for the group photo was proving to be a challenge. After lunch, it's time to bid farewell to the corner and to Queensland as they head into South Australia, but only a few hundred metres before heading south into New South Wales. The course goes through the middle of the Sturt National Park, and with the maximum speed of just 60 kilometres an hour, it gave everyone the opportunity to see all the different native Australian desert wildlife. The road eventually opens up and the rally runs parallel to the dingo fence for a while. At 5,600 kilometres, the longest fence in the world. Pack saddle! And everyone gets in early, just as well, because some cars are in need of serious repairs. This is bush mechanics at its best.
Hands like a surgeon.
It was just one of those nights where everyone wanted to celebrate the milestone that was reached that day. The locals even came along and dressed for the occasion. After a late night, some still had repairs to do at sunrise to prepare for another big day.
We're replacing the brake line for the second time in 2 days. We had a point that was rubbing, and with the corrugations it just works itself loose and snap the pipes.
Day 6, and the cars have been travelling for nearly a week now in some of Australia's driest and dustiest regions. So, the entrants could be excused for thinking they were seeing things when they came across a massive inland lake. The track gets a bit tight and challenging, to say the least. And even where it opens up in this dry riverbed. You do not want to stop here. The opal mining town of White Cliffs hosted the entrants for lunch, and everyone could have a brief look around this unique town. Gee, I hope the boys in 1978 have fixed their brakes. Back on private property, and not sure whether the landowner provided this excessive amount of water as a challenge, or was it just a leak? It's the last day, and all the cars head to the finish line, through the rolling hills towards Bathurst. As the cars line up and cross the finishing line one by one, the inaugural UAA New South Wales Great Endeavour Rally makes it into the history books. After 8 days and 3,500 kilometres through the New South Wales outback, the memories, camaraderie and mateships formed will last for many years to come. And what motoring event finish wouldn't be complete in Bathurst without a lap of the famous Mount Panorama circuit?